Let's create Doctor Strange portal effects in just 3 days. In just 3 days. So how do we create this? And first we need to research how they have created. So let's do some research.
A lot of VFX studios worked on Doctor Strange, and I was lucky enough to find a workflow breakdown from Rise Visual Effects Studios. Let me play it.
The sparks themselves were pretty straightforward setup using pops.
They use particles and some forces. We'll do the same, but first we need some footage to work on.
I need 2 locations. First, where I will just start the portal, and second location where I will close the portal.
I started thinking about the portal opening location. I'll shoot it on my floor, and the portal will open into my building's parking lot. I'm also going to dress similar to Doctor Strange. Let me get ready. I found this sweater that works as his coat, and I even have a ring. I couldn't find a sling ring that looks like Doctor Strange's, but it won't be visible on camera anyway. So let's pretend you didn't hear anything. In the movie, as you've seen, it took Steven a lot of time to open a portal, so before opening one myself, I need to practice.
Two hours later.
After 2 hours of rehearsal, I'm finally ready to open a portal. Let me show you which camera I'm using. I'll be shooting this on the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus. Initially, I planned to shoot here, but the space is too small to open a portal. Hallway was too narrow to fit the portal, but luckily I found an empty room, so I'm gonna shoot here. This is perfect, no distracting furniture, and I can open the portal properly. I will open the portal on this wall. I'll go with this angle. There's a greenish tone for some reason, but I'll fix that in compositing. I'll record a few takes from different positions. Cool, one shot is done. Now I'm heading to the second location. So this is the open parking area, perfect for the portal exit shot. We've got enough space, clean background, and the lighting is pretty decent. Let's set up and shoot. I'll do the same here. This angle looks good. I'll record a few takes. And we also need to shoot the opposite angle to show what's inside the portal. Awesome, the second shot is ready. I've put together the lineup in After Effects, and the rough edit is done. I picked the best clips, and now we've got 6 solid options. Not gonna lie, all of them look pretty good, but we have to choose one to continue with the VFX. I'm going with option 5. Comment below and tell me which one you think fits best. Let's talk about the workstation I'm using. For this portal effect, I'll be working on my Lenovo laptop. The portal is a light simulation, and this laptop can handle it and render it without any issues. However, it's not the best choice for very heavy sim, like water simulations. For the portal simulation, I'll be using Houdini. It's one of the best node-based 3D software out there. Alright, so next I'll jump into Houdini and create a 3D camera that matches my plate. After that, I'll build basic wall and floor geometry for proper collision and light interaction. This helps the portal feel grounded in the real environment. First, I'll set up the portal position using a circle. This looks good so far. Next, I'll generate a circular velocity field and emit particles from that circle. This is just the beginning, and there's still a lot to refine. Now, I'll add noise to the particle source, similar to what we saw in the reference breakdown, trying to stay close to that look. The best way to get smooth, organic particle motion is to advect them through a basic volume sim. So I created a simple volume using the same source with some noise, and now I'm using it to push the particles. Look at this. Super nice motion. I'll use this setup in the main particle sim. Since these are sparks, when they hit the ground, they'll split into smaller particles to add more realism. The portal is ready now. I'll reuse this setup for my second shot as well. Just flipping the camera to the opposite side and matching the perspective. Static cameras make this workflow way easier. For the second shot, it would be nice to have some ground dust and grain interaction, so I'll be creating that as well. This will help the portal blend better with the environment and add more realism. That's done. So now it's time to move on to rendering. Before that, I just want to mention how I'm able to build this kind of simulation in a single day. I've already worked on a portal effect in the past. The final result here is different, but the core concepts are similar. Also, for this video, I showed few things only. If you want to learn Houdini particles from scratch, I've already created a 3-hour beginner-friendly tutorial on particle fundamentals. In that video, I explain everything particle behavior, velocity, and the full rendering workflow in depth, so definitely check the link in the description. Alright, let's continue. I'll be rendering this using Houdini's built-in Karma XPU renderer. Let me set up the Karma XPU render. I need to create the materials and also explain how I'm going to render the particles. So let's talk about that. These are particles. If I render them directly with motion blur, they'll appear as straight lines. It's just one particle stretched, and if I have 10 particles, all of them will look the same. Instead of rendering particles directly, I'll convert them into lines and render without motion blur. This way, I have control over random height, and I can add noise to make them look more dynamic and visually interesting. Cool, so the render setup is done. Materials, lights, everything. Now let me show you how it's looking. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. I'm also exporting AOVs, so we have full control in comp later. Everything's set, so let's hit render. Alright, it's time for compositing. I'll be using Nuke for this part. Let me quickly load in all my renders. First, we need to mask out our character. I'm using ModNet for that, since it lets me create a clean mask in just a few seconds. Done! That was quick. I've also rendered a mask layer to show what's inside the portal, and the environment light interaction render is looking nice too. This is the volume layer. I'll use it in the comp, it will look good. Now, here are the AOVs I've rendered. Let me show you how we can use them to make changes directly in compositing without re-rendering. For example, I can easily change the color here. Super useful, right? Let me start layering everything together. Cool, now I'll add some glow, but only in the core area, using the AOVs. That's looking really nice. If I take a look at the final comp, it's coming together well, but something's still missing. Yep, it's the light interaction on the character. Sometimes it's tricky to add light interaction to the character from the shoot. Ideally, we should have done that during filming, like they did, but I didn't have a big ring light for that. The second option is to body track the character in 3D, and just like we light up the walls, we can do the same for the character. But honestly, that takes quite a bit of time to animate. So, I'm going with a quick and simple trick. I'll do it directly in Nuke. Let me show you. All we need is the edges. I'll extract the edges, change the color, and add a bit of glow to it. Nice! It's not 100% accurate, but it does the job pretty well. I also did a bit of cleanup. Removed that small switch and the car and bike in the background. Awesome! I'll keep refining the comp a bit more and then render it out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you'd like me to create next.
And now it's time to see final result.
Teach me.